From the tactical genius who lost his signature ability to the demigod who fights aliens, the gap between the weakest and strongest Hokage is massive. Some relied on skill and experience. Others broke the rules of what shinobi could even do. Today, we're ranking every Hokage by pure power, weakest to strongest. Let's get started with our Level 1 Hokage. Level 1, Kakashi Hatake, the underdog Hokage. Kakashi Hatake is the 6th Hokage and the weakest Hokage by raw power. Everyone loves Kakashi, he's skilled, intelligent, and legendary. But in a straight fight against any other Hokage, he loses. And here's why that's actually interesting. Kakashi became Hokage after losing his Sharingan. When Obito died at the end of the 4th Shinobi World War, the Sharingan went with him. The eye that defined Kakashi's fighting style for decades was gone. Without it, he couldn't copy jutsu on the fly anymore. He lost access to Kamui, the technique that made him nearly untouchable in combat. The copy ninja became Hokage after losing his copy ability. Kakashi has no special bloodline, no Kekkei Genkai, no tailed beast, and no sage mode. He's a regular human who trained his entire life to master the ninja arts. After the war, he relied entirely on skill, experience, and intelligence. That puts him at a disadvantage compared to every other Hokage who possessed abilities that fundamentally changed combat. Despite this, Kakashi retained significant strengths. His library of over 1,000 copied jutsu remained in his memory. He couldn't copy new techniques, but decades of collecting jutsu gave him versatility. He's a tactical genius who reads opponents and counters strategies before they develop. His experience includes ANBU operations, the 3rd Shinobi World War, and countless S-rank missions. Kakashi developed Purple Lightning to replace Chidori. Since Chidori required the Sharingan to use safely at full speed, he created a new lightning technique he could control without it. He maintained his summoning contract with ninja dogs and kept his arsenal of copied techniques. During the war, Obito temporarily gave Kakashi both Mangekyo Sharingan eyes, granting him perfect Susanoo. With that power-up, Kakashi fought Kaguya Otsutsuki and damaged her. But that temporary boost doesn't count toward his base level. It was a brief moment, not his actual strength as 6th Hokage. Kakashi deserved to be Hokage despite being the weakest because the position requires more than raw power. Leadership, tactical thinking, experience, and the village's respect matter just as much. Kakashi possessed all of that. He led Konoha through the transition from war to peace and maintained stability during reconstruction. Kakashi proves that skill and intelligence can take you to the top of the ninja world, even if every other Hokage could beat you in a fight. Tsunade could tank hits that would kill anyone else, but durability alone doesn't win against the next tier. Level 3 introduces speed so overwhelming that enemies couldn't even track him. Level 2, Tsunade Senju, the unkillable tank. Tsunade is the 5th Hokage and the first woman to hold the position. She's not the strongest Hokage in terms of raw power, but her abilities make her nearly impossible to kill. Tsunade could lose a fight 3 times and still walk away. Her power is refusing to die. Tsunade ranks above Kakashi for one simple reason: overwhelming power and durability. Her superhuman strength can split mountains with a single punch. She achieved this through perfect chakra control. She concentrates chakra into her strikes at the moment of impact, then releases it explosively. One punch from Tsunade can shatter boulders, level buildings, and end most fights instantly. Kakashi's tactical genius can't overcome the fact that a single direct hit would take him out. Her most powerful asset is the Strength of 100 seal, the diamond mark on her forehead. This seal stores chakra continuously over years, accumulating massive reserves. When released, it fuels her Creation Rebirth technique, a forbidden jutsu that can instantly heal any injury, severed limbs, fatal wounds, internal damage. Creation Rebirth regenerates everything in real time during combat. The technique's cost is steep. Each use forces rapid cell division, shortening Tsunade's lifespan. But in battle, it makes her almost immortal. Her most impressive durability feat came during the 4th Shinobi World War when Madara Uchiha cut her completely in half. She survived through Creation Rebirth and continued fighting. Tsunade's fighting style centers on close combat. She's a medical ninja who defied convention by mastering direct physical confrontation. Her strength came from the same precise chakra control required for medical ninjutsu, redirected toward destruction instead of healing. She later taught this technique to Sakura Haruno, who eventually matched Tsunade's strength. Her weaknesses prevent her from ranking higher. Tsunade has no long-range options. She needs to close distance to fight effectively. Her chakra reserves, while massive, run out if she overuses Creation Rebirth. She also suffered from hemophobia, a fear of blood that temporarily crippled her abilities after losing her brother and boyfriend during war. She overcame this fear when protecting Naruto from Orochimaru. Tsunade doesn't rank higher because raw power and regeneration can't compete with the speed, versatility, and overwhelming abilities of the top-tier Hokages. But her refusal to stay down made her legendary. Tobirama built the systems and invented the techniques, but there's a reason his student was called the strongest of his generation. Level 4 takes us to the professor himself. Level 3. Tobirama Senju, the Speed Demon Innovator. Tobirama Senju is the second Hokage and Hashirama's younger brother. While his brother dreamed of peace and built bridges between enemies, Tobirama constructed the machinery that made those dreams function. He invented techniques so powerful that most ninja are forbidden from using them. Then he invented even more. Tobirama perfected the Flying Thunder God technique, a space-time jutsu that allows instant teleportation to marked locations. He didn't just create this technique, he mastered it to levels that made him one of the fastest shinobi in history. In combat, this changed everything. Opponents couldn't track him. He appeared behind enemies before they registered movement, struck before they could defend, and vanished before counterattacks landed. Speed at this level becomes overwhelming. His list of invented jutsu reads like a catalog of forbidden techniques. The Shadow Clone Jutsu became one of the most important techniques in shinobi history. Edo Tensei, the reanimation jutsu that brings the dead back as controllable warriors, was so dangerous it was immediately classified as forbidden. Tobirama understood he was creating weapons too powerful for most hands, yet he continued pushing boundaries. Where most water release users need existing water sources, Tobirama generated massive volumes from nothing. His Water Dragon Bullet and other techniques could overwhelm opponents even in deserts, giving him advantages other water specialists lack. This versatility made him unpredictable, fast enough to outmaneuver anyone, skilled enough to adapt to any environment. Beyond combat, Tobirama's tactical mind reshaped Konoha's infrastructure. He established the academy system that democratized ninja training. He created ANBU Black Ops for missions too dark for regular forces. He organized the Chunin exams to identify promising shinobi. These systems outlasted him by generations, becoming fundamental to how villages operated across the shinobi world. During the First Shinobi World War, Tobirama faced his final battle. Ambushed by Kinkaku and Ginkaku, the Gold and Silver brothers, alongside their 20-man squad of elite Kumogakure ninja, he realized escape was impossible for everyone. Tobirama sacrificed himself as a decoy, allowing his subordinates to survive. Before dying, he appointed Hiruzen Sarutobi as third Hokage. Tobirama doesn't rank higher because speed and innovation can't match the raw destructive power of the top-tier Hokages. He could outmaneuver most opponents, but the upper levels possess abilities that transcend conventional combat entirely. The irony: he created humanity's most dangerous techniques but rarely used them himself, understanding their catastrophic potential. Hiruzen's reputation as the strongest Kage defined his era, but reputation means nothing against the ninja who made entire armies flee on sight. Before we reveal the top 3 most powerful Hokages, make sure to subscribe. The power scaling gets absolutely insane from here. Level 4. Hiruzen Sarutobi, the professor in his prime. Hiruzen Sarutobi is the third Hokage, and here's the problem. We never saw him at full strength. They called him the strongest of his generation, the god of shinobi, the professor who mastered every technique in Konoha. But every fight we witnessed came decades past his prime, leaving the biggest question in Hokage power scaling unanswered: was his reputation bigger than his actual power? Hiruzen earned the title strongest of the 5 Kage during his era. This wasn't village propaganda or empty respect for an elder statesman. Other nations genuinely feared him. He mastered all 5 chakra natures: fire, wind, lightning, earth, and water, and knew over 1,000 jutsu. His encyclopedic knowledge earned him the nickname the Professor, and his versatility made him unpredictable in combat. His summon, Enma the Monkey King, could transform into an indestructible staff and fight independently. This gave Hiruzen both a weapon that couldn't be broken and a combat partner who could strategize mid-battle. Enma's adamantine form could extend, shrink, and split into multiple staffs, creating offensive and defensive options most shinobi never encountered. The massive gap between Prime Hiruzen and elderly Hiruzen makes evaluation difficult. When we finally saw him fight seriously during Orochimaru's invasion of Konoha, he was already past 70 years old. Yet even then, he fought Orochimaru and the reanimated first and second Hokages simultaneously. He held his own against 3 Hokage-level opponents, while his body was breaking down from age. That feat alone places him in elite territory. Elderly Hiruzen managed what most ninja couldn't accomplish in their prime, battling multiple Kage-level threats at once. He ultimately sacrificed his life using the Reaper Death Seal to partially seal Orochimaru's abilities, saving Konoha but dying in the process. The debate persists. If old Hiruzen could fight 3 Hokages, what could Prime Hiruzen accomplish? We'll never know. The series never showed us the ninja who supposedly surpassed even his legendary teachers. We got glimpses through reputation and the respect other powerful shinobi showed him, but never the direct feats that would settle the argument definitively. Hiruzen ranks in the middle because versatility and knowledge can't compete with the overwhelming specialized power of the top 3. The upper-tier Hokages possess abilities that fundamentally break conventional combat rules. But the mystery remains maybe Prime. Hiruzen belonged higher, and we simply never witnessed it. Minato was undefeated and untouchable, the fastest shinobi of his generation. But speed doesn't matter when your opponent can create forests and fight for days without stopping. Level 6 brings us to the original god of shinobi. Level 5, Minato Namikaze, the Yellow Flash. Minato Namikaze is the 4th Hokage, and here's the tragedy. He was the most feared ninja in the world during his era, and he died before reaching his prime. Enemy villages issued flee-on-sight orders specifically for him. If you encountered the Yellow Flash, you retreated immediately. No shame, no dishonor, just survive. That's the level of threat Minato represented. Minato took Tobirama's Flying Thunder God technique and perfected it beyond anything the second Hokage achieved. He was faster than Tobirama, teleporting across battlefields and marking enemies with his signature tri-pronged kunai. Once marked, opponents were already dead, they just didn't know it yet. Minato could teleport entire tailed beast attacks, redirecting massive chakra blasts that would devastate armies. His combat record speaks for itself. Minato never lost a fight in his entire career as a ninja, not once. Every mission completed, every enemy defeated, every impossible situation resolved through speed and precision. During the Third Shinobi World War, his presence alone shifted momentum. Other villages started avoiding confrontation with Konoha forces because encountering Minato meant certain death. He invented the Rasengan, an A-rank jutsu, requiring no hand signs, pure chakra manipulation, compressed into a spinning sphere. The technique remained incomplete at his death. Minato wanted to add his lightning nature to create something unprecedented, but he never finished the project. His student Naruto would eventually complete what Minato started decades later. Minato could use Sage Mode, though he rarely needed to. His speed alone was sufficient for most situations. When things got serious, he combined Sage Mode with Flying Thunder God, becoming untouchable. The combination made him nearly impossible to counter enhanced reflexes, sensory abilities, and instantaneous teleportation meant opponents couldn't land hits. His final night demonstrated everything he could do. Minato fought Obito Uchiha, who controlled space-time with Kamui, and defeated him through superior speed and tactical thinking. Then he faced the Nine Tails rampaging through Konoha. He teleported the beast's tailed beast bomb away from the village, split the Nine Tails' chakra in half, sealed the yang half inside his newborn son Naruto, and took the yin half to his death using the Reaper Death Seal. Minato doesn't rank in the top 2 because he died at 24 years old. We witnessed a fraction of his potential. His techniques were incomplete, his growth cut short. The upper-tier Hokages had decades to develop their abilities. Minato never got that chance, dying as the youngest Hokage in history, undefeated but unfulfilled. Level 6, Hashirama Senju are like the god of shinobi. Hashirama Senju is the first Hokage, and for decades after his death, he remained the undisputed strongest shinobi in history. The title God of Shinobi wasn't metaphorical respect for a village founder. Hashirama was that far above everyone else. The power gap between him and his contemporaries was absurd. Hashirama possessed Wood Release, a Keke Genkai so rare he was the only natural user in history. This wasn't simply controlling plants. Wood Release allowed him to create massive forests from nothing, construct entire buildings instantly, and restrain tailed beasts like they were wild animals. His cells became the most sought-after research material for decades because they contained this unique ability and possessed remarkable regenerative properties. Orochimaru, Danzo, and countless others experimented with Hashirama's cells, trying to replicate what he did naturally. He combined Wood Release with Perfect Sage Mode, amplifying abilities that were already godlike. His chakra reserves were incomprehensible. He could fight for days without exhaustion, creating forests casually as if breathing. Where other shinobi carefully managed chakra for individual techniques, Hashirama reshaped entire landscapes as a side effect of combat. His most legendary feat came at the Valley of the End. Madara Uchiha attacked Konoha with the 9 tails under his control, the strongest Uchiha wielding the most powerful tailed beast. Hashirama fought them both and won. The battle was so catastrophic it carved the Valley of the End into the landscape, creating waterfalls and cliffs that remain generations later. He didn't just defeat Madara, he beat the combination of his greatest rival and a tailed beast simultaneously. The true several thousand hands represents Hashirama's peak ability, a wooden Buddha statue towering over mountains with thousands of arms. Each arm could strike with devastating force. The technique dwarfed even the 9 tails in size and power. When Hashirama unleashed this jutsu against Madara's perfect Susanoo-clad 9 tails, the resulting clash reshaped the terrain permanently. Other nations feared Hashirama's power so completely that they avoided conflict with Konoha during his lifetime. His existence alone functioned as a deterrent. Attacking the hidden leaf meant facing the god of shinobi, and no village possessed power to counter that threat. Hashirama has one weakness that keeps him from the top spot. He never faced Otsutsuki-level threats. His era's strongest enemies were tailed beasts and rival shinobi. Modern power scaling introduced beings that transcend what Hashirama's generation understood as possible. And there's one Hokage who fought those gods and won. For decades, Hashirama stood unchallenged as the strongest shinobi in history. No one came close. Until one ninja went from dead last academy student to surpassing even the god of shinobi himself. Level 7, the demigod. Level 7, Naruto Uzumaki, the demigod. Naruto Uzumaki is the 7th Hokage and the strongest Hokage in history. It's not even close. The dead last academy student who couldn't perform a basic clone technique became a demigod who fights aliens. The progression from weakest to strongest is the most insane power climb in the series. Naruto received 6 Paths Sage Mode directly from Hagoromo Otsutsuki, the Sage of 6 Paths himself. This wasn't training or earned through meditation. The literal creator of ninjutsu chose Naruto and granted him power that transcends normal shinobi abilities. 6 Paths Sage Mode puts Naruto in a different tier entirely, accessing abilities that rewrite what's possible in combat. He achieved complete partnership with Kurama, the 9 Tails. Where previous Jinchuriki struggled against their tailed beast or suppressed them through force, Naruto befriended his. Full Kurama cooperation means unlimited access to the 9 Tails chakra without drawbacks, no mental strain, no loss of control. Beyond Kurama, Naruto possesses chakra from all 9 tailed beasts, allowing him to use their unique abilities. His combat feats sound like exaggerations until you remember they actually happened. Naruto fought Kaguya Otsutsuki, the origin of chakra itself, the alien goddess who created ninjutsu and damaged her. He tanked an attack that could split the moon. He fought Sasuke, who possessed similar god-tier power through the Rinnegan, to a complete standstill in a battle that devastated the Valley of the End worse than Hashirama and Madara ever did. After becoming Hokage, Naruto defeated Toneri Otsutsuki, who was pulling the moon toward Earth. He fought multiple Otsutsuki clan members, Momoshiki and Kinshiki beings, whose power eclipses anything previous generations encountered. The gap between Naruto and every other Hokage is staggering. In a straight fight, Naruto defeats any of them, potentially all 6 simultaneously. His feats involve fighting gods, while other Hokages fought powerful humans and tailed beasts. Hashirama fought Madara with the 9 tails and won legendary world-shaping combat. Naruto partnered with the Nine Tails, fought beings that would annihilate Hashirama and Madara together without effort. That's the difference. Hashirama was the strongest of his era. Naruto operates beyond eras, fighting threats that previous generations couldn't comprehend. The dead last student became something the shinobi world had never seen: a Hokage, whose power rivals the Sage of Six Paths himself. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe and I'll see you in the next one.